All right. Dare I have a little chat with you?
I'm ready.
Look at all these. It's like my favorite kind of character. Per encounter spells. Yes. Obviously, they can all dry up, but generally speaking, I can just fucking go. I thought this was stronger. Oh, plus 59. There it is. Wow. It got even stronger. Not only did I give it another 40 with that talent, but then she leveled up again, and both of the bonuses got bigger. It was 80 plus 40, now it's 108 plus 50. So she can heal for 160 health twice per encounter, which is... that's enough to keep Adair alive. Let alone characters that have less. Damn. Yeah. So Durance really is like a stats spammer, where he just plagues the enemies and helps the allies, but the real healer is definitely Pallegina, the sheer numbers that she has access to. But she has less endurance for it. She has ultra potent... Oop, there we go. I activated her aura. And you get a sense of how local it is. I guess it's probably affecting you too, but I don't get to see your stats, Itumak. But it seems to be that big. Can I highlight it? Yeah. So that's how big it is. It wouldn't even be reaching... it looks like it wouldn't even be reaching my protagonist character if it wasn't for the fact that she has a bonus circle from her stats. Still, that's plus 3 DR. Which I assume stacks. Because I think spell casting effects stack with armor, which stacks with racials, which stack with weapons, is I think how it works. Is that your weapon is its own category, then all of your armor and equipment is another category, and then you have your racials, and then you have your spells. And the main discrepancy is just that armor does not stack, equipment bonuses don't stack with other equipment bonuses, but weapons are counted separately from that, and you can still add... yeah, there we go, plus 3 DR. It doesn't say anything about it being deadened or not counting. Yeah, you can see that he has his weak little 6 is now a 9. And that's not affected by his armor efficiency negative because it's not from his armor. So he has plus 3 to everything else too. So Adair is a better tank with Pallegina around. How do their stats compare, by the way? So she's got 13 and he's got 14 as their base DR. She has a little bit bonus against Pierce and a tiny negative of only -1 against fire and freeze. So she's pretty much just a flat 13 across the board. He's a 14 with some real peaks and valleys. Huge bonus to fire and pierce and especially slash, but weak against... yeah, 5 less DR against crushing hammers and mauls and stuff like that. The plus 3 from Pallegina really starts to spackle over that gap, because when it was a 6 compared to a 14, it was like a really unfortunate dip, but now it's only 5 below, which is... it feels less like a massive problem, at least. What's this? The revive, right. Alright, let's see if I can talk to her. Oh, right. You can actually have... yeah. She'll use liberating exhortation and lay on hands and so on automatically. And even revive. But in this case she'll use on the first... she'll use revive on the first person that's taken out. So she'll revive the first person that goes down, which is usually worth it. But no, I think I want her to automatically use her attack. Go aggressive. I think I want her to be using Flames of Devotion automatically, and I'll be more selective about when to heal, because I'm used to casting that stuff manually across the party, whereas Adair and Pallegina using their offensive attacks, fucking go for it.
I'm ready.
Because then they come back every fight.
Need something?
I was wondering about your order, the Brotherhood of the Five Sons. Pallegina nods softly. Back in the Republics, we call it... oh god. I'm doomed. We call it the Fermas Miscanxulos. The 5 sons are the Duke's Bells. The great dukes who rule over the most powerful republics. Brento, Acrense, Salona, Ogia, and Revua. The Duke's Bells have the republics moving forward, keeping us at the forefront of the trade and technology, keeping us strong against our rivals. We brothers are sworn to aid and protect them for the good of the republics and your citizens. You say brothers, but my breastplate bulges in the wrong spot. She cracks a small grin. I may look like a woman and sound like a woman, but according to the Republic's laws, I am not. Interesting. What they call godlike, people like me. We can never bear children, so we can't be real women, for what that's worth. Most women in the Republics, if they can't bear children, it's like the sun has set on their lives. But what it was worth to me? Freedom. The Brotherhood has a prohibition against women entering, but I was allowed. Many resented the decision, but I learned long ago not to care. That is interesting. So Godwoken can't have children, which leads to a strange loophole where her society that only lets men into certain orders has to not count her as a woman, so therefore she technically qualifies as a man, and that's her loophole into getting into positions she's not supposed to be in. And it's very much a technicality that people don't inherently just believe in, because she still has to deal with the same prejudices and friction from people who don't want women in those organizations, even if she's legally not considered a woman, because, I mean, eyes. Like, she's very clearly female, even if she doesn't fit a legal definition. And so you're still going to have that friction, even if the officials are allowing it. It's interesting. I wanted to ask you something else about the Brotherhood. How does that work? With 5 dukes, they can't agree all the time. She throws her head back and laughs. Of course not. They argue endlessly in the Songreta Ducala. The Brotherhood is forbidden to take sides in their debates. Not that I'd want to. I'd rather risk life and limb fighting the Republic's enemies than listen to the droning lectures of the Ducal Congress. Our loyalty is not to individual dukes, but to the dukes as a whole. To their collective will and resolutions. We follow the mandates of the Ducal Congress. The individual dukes direct us, but they have an understanding of how we are not to be used. How do people in the Vailian Republics feel about godlikes? Like with anyone who's different, most people are curious or afraid, and if they're afraid, she shrugs, they get angry. They want to make sense of the world, and people like me can be confusing. And believe me, people are easily confused. Her tone becomes more serious as her voice and gaze drift off. After a long moment, she looks back at you. We all have to protect ourselves, no matter where we are. Being different means always looking over your shoulder, no matter what company you keep. This is a weird... I didn't read this ahead of time, but this would make a lot more sense to say sooner. You're one of the godlikes, aren't you? She lets out a small laugh. That's what they call me, yes. I've never met a god, so I don't know what they're like. I can't say why everyone else presumes to understand why I was born this way. Where in the Vailian Republics are you from? I was born in a fishing village near Biagepe. Her brow furrows. Her golden eyes look away as she searches for a lost memory. Can't remember the name. Really? She waves her feathered hand dismissively. I was only there for a few years. My best memory was leaving the place. Like all the other brothers, I grew up under Ogian bastions. It wasn't easy, but I prefer it to getting fish. Why are you concerned about animancy in Defiance Bay? People look at the republics as a nation of traitors. We do engage in much commercial trade through the Defiance Bay, but the greatest value we have found is not written on a ledger line. It's intellectual wealth. The ideas that we exchange. The Deerwood and Vailian republics are the world's leaders in animancy. If the Deerwood institutes prohibitions against research and practice of animancy, we will have serious repercussions for the Vailian republics. Don't you think there's dangers in animancy? Of course it's dangerous. But we who live in the Eastern Reach, we are the children of pioneers. We sought out the danger. She nods her head decisively. That is why all the best research must happen in the New World. Do you see animancy as just something to be traded? She snorts dismissively. I am not a scientist, but I believe animancy can benefit us all. There are many questions to be answered about who we are, why I am the way I am. If we can answer them, maybe we can make life better for everyone. I'd like to know your opinion on something. She nods her feathered head sharply. Ask and you will know. How do you think things are going? I am glad you know how much can be gained from diplomacy. In the Brotherhood, we were trained to keep our physical strength in reserve and use wits and words to navigate our way through most conflicts. She raises a feathered finger to emphasize her point. There will always be a time for a war, but I'm glad to see you have the restraint not to succumb to the desire every time the opportunity arises. You spent a lot of time in the Deerwood. What do you make of it? It's not the Republic's, but the Deerwood is one of our closest allies. We trade with the Deerwood more than any other nation, and we have no greater ally in supporting animancy research. Pallegina shakes her head slightly. Still, I do not understand the Deerwood obsession with revenge and feuds, nor the widespread hatred of Orlans. The Orlans from Ire Glanfath fight for their homes and their culture as anyone would. They fight dirty. But I would too if all of my enemies were twice my size. Do the Republics view the Adir Empire as a threat? We used to view the Empire as a threat. Since the revolution in Deerwood, the Republics have benefited from the shield that the Deerwood provides. It's another reason why I fear the fall of the Defiance Bay. If the Deerwood is weak, Adir will surely test the Republic's dominance in the Eastern Reach. What do you know of Rauatai? They've done impressive things with cannon and artillery, and some of their ship designs are interesting. But they shout too loudly over minor accomplishments. She smiles softly. No one seriously questions that the Republics control all sea lanes in the Eastern Reach. The membranes of Pallegina's golden eyes slide out and back as she softly nods. What? Does she have membranes that are separate from her eyelids, or are you just weirdly calling eyelids membranes today? Because, what? Distressing word use. So we've been to the Crucible Keep. There's the Temple of Wetica, and there's the Vailian Embassy. That's where she wants to go. Might as well. Our new character. Let's indulge her. It'd also be weird if we agreed to go check out the embassy and then immediately refuse to go to the embassy for like 10 hours. Amusing, though. And no, I don't even begin to know what kind of vocal cadence or vague accent I'm even going for half the time with that stuff. I'm mostly just trying to give it I'm trying to just not go for the same vaguely female affect that I kind of adopt with characters like Sigani.
Augusti, I would speak with you on a matter of some urgency and great importance.
Sighing as though remembering some heavy burden, Vincent crosses his arms and before replying. Pallegina, if this is the same matter we previously discussed, I doubt I will be convinced any more easily. Can I use my reputation? Ambassador, please hear her out. The ambassador appears mildly annoyed by your interjection and turns her attention back to Pallegina. Never mind. I thought my local reputation might be useful here. It is not.
Ambassador, I implore you to take a step back and look at this again.
Ambassador Augusti holds up his hand and cuts Pallegina off in a strident tone. Enough. We're not going over Defiance Bay's animancers again. The Duke's Bell's desires have not changed since the last time we spoke. If you haven't heard, word of your insubordination has already found the ears of the Duchessa of Biagepi and the Duke of Salona. Okay, so this is the context for the conversation with Sagani, where she's talking about how she's going to just press forward without permission. There are murmurs that you cannot be trusted to fulfill your duties. Must this task reach the shores of Spirento? Pallegina's aggressive demeanor drains to a state of shock and worry, but she remains silent. I don't think I'm part of this conversation, frankly.
What is it the Dukes need of me, Ambassador?
The Deerwood's instability has created an opportunity for us to take over their trade with Ire Glanfath. We will need to meet with the Glanfathans soon to secure upcoming trade agreements. The roads to Twin Elms can be dangerous, of course, but that's why you'll be our representative there.
Echosi, Ambassador, but won't this provoke the Deerwoodins? Their country is falling apart, and we're already dividing up their trade alliances.
Provoke them into what? Going to war? Through no fault of the Republic's, the Deerwood's armies have been deprived of an entire generation of soldiers. It would be foolish not to take advantage of the situation. If we don't, the Radsarans will. That's ruthless. But also, I think this is just straight up not my conversation. And I don't think he likes the interruptions either.
Really? After that, you have nothing to say.
Okay, just gonna... Nope, now I'm getting judged for not saying something. Pallegina looks at you incredulously, her mouth slightly open in disbelief. So I am thinking, like, what an asshole. Taking advantage of the country. But, I'm trying to respect her space here, but apparently no. Shrug. Pallegina raises an eyebrow and clenches her jaw but remains silent. Pallegina, Pallegina. He shakes his head. Go to Twin Elms. Speak to Anamfath. Impress upon her the instability of the Deerwood, and reassure her of the Vailian Republic's desire to open safe trade.
Of course, Ambassador.
The ambassador nods and smiles paternally, and then looks to you. I know you planned on investigating this crisis together, but I hope you understand Pallegina's responsibilities. Lie and wink obnoxiously to Pallegina. Aren't they all potentially me lying? Why is it wink obnoxiously to Pallegina? Like, if it was just a lie, I'd be like, yeah, sure, but... Nod non-committedly. Vincent twists his mouth as he attempts to divine your intent, but gives up after a long moment. Very well. Now, if you'll excuse me. Last thing I expected after all these things
could have gone better. Could have gone worse.
There's all these conversations where it seems like I'm supposed to just not say anything. Or at least not supposed to, obviously. Like, it's a video game. You can do whatever the fuck you want. That's the point. But I'm saying, like, it seemed to make sense to stay quiet and let them hash it out. And then the moment I think that, it's like, the fuck? You didn't have anything to say to that? Like, well, damn. But then I also couldn't say anything about it after that. I couldn't take the cue either.
Not that you helped put up much of a fight.
I think you're in the right, but I didn't want to make the ambassador any angrier.
Enough wisdom for both of us. Now, I just need to find out how to get to Twin Elms before the ambassador loses his patience.
Still, I fear that making this deal with the Glenfathans will further weaken the Deerwood and make trouble for the Republics in years to come. So, when I said that I didn't want to make him angry, she said enough wisdom for the both of us, which I think is saying, unless she's being sarcastic, is hinting that maybe she approves of the restraint in retrospect or something. Trust in your feelings. Well, it's a long way to Twin Elms. You have plenty of time to think it over.
Verus.
Broker a trade agreement with the Anam Fath in Twin Elms. Do I already know that location? Elms Reach. It's probably over there. Oh yeah, Twin Elms. There we go. That's the name of that entire area. This is Defiance Bay. That's Twin Elms. And those are the only big text labels on the entire map, it looks like. Yeah, it's way the hell down there. It's past Deerford. Yeah, we won't be going there for a bit, though. Poke around here for a little while. How much time do we have? Still over 3 days? Okay. Ooh, not stealing. I love not stealing. More green books. Probably the wrong ones.
Good day to you.
What can this humble servant of the Republics do for you? Palagina said you could use my help with something. Of course, of course. Word has reached my ears how you crossed blades with the Dominels, and yet here you are still. Quite impressive. Verzano was most fortunate you came along. But, on to business. A rather notorious adventuring party calling themselves the Forgotten have made a name for themselves by raiding within ruins in the Deerwood and selling the stolen relics to their patrons back in the Vailian republics. I need them stopped. I'm sure you're aware that trade in Ingwithan relics is strictly forbidden in the Deerwood. Were it known that prominent nobles in the republics were flagrantly defying the Duke's ban on the looting of Ingwithan ruins, it would put a number of valuable trade agreements in jeopardy, or even cause Defiance Bay to embargo Vailian goods. I can't let that happen. The authorities in Defiance Bay have no idea the smuggling is going on. I'm sure rumors have reached their ears, but if they suspected that there was any truth to them, they'd have summoned me before them. That hasn't happened yet. I'll help. What do you need me to do? He smiles in relief. Thank you. A prominent merchant in the Republics, Mester Barkozy, has also developed an interest in obtaining and within ruins, relics, and sent a buyer to Defiance Bay to meet with the Forgotten. I arranged for the Knights of the Crucible to detain the buyer for questioning. I may have suggested that the buyer was a wanted criminal. I'll need you to go to the buyer's place, posing as Barkozy's representative. and learn how the Forgotten are smuggling their relics through Defiance Bay. With that knowledge, I can take steps to discreetly dismantle their operation and discredit them in the eyes of their patrons. If there's nothing else, I must return to my duties. Tell me about the Vailian republics. They are rich in all ways, in wealth, in style, in culture. If you were to go to the republics, you would not want to leave. Why would you? The people are beautiful and charming. I am here because the Songreta Ducala wishes it, but when my appointment is done, I will be on my first ship out, and I will sing from here to Salona. What do you do here? As the Vailian ambassador, my job is to ensure trade with the Deerwood remains strong and profitable. Farewell. There's some pressure, representing your entire government, your entire country, and its trade that it depends on. These postings show current prices for a range of commodities, and they track the running exchange rate for the Vailian loose. I guess is their currency. Nobody back here. The flag depicts the symbol of the Vailian Republics, a ship sailing beneath 5 radiant stars. Spread across the table are the blueprints of an in-progress trade deal between a merchant company from the Republics and a Deerwood and Weirwool collective.
Margrin's fire, a simple test.
Right. My mechanics characters are both not on the party. Kana and Grieving Mother. My bad. Yeah, because Sagani specializes in stealth, not mechanics. A lot to keep track of. Who's got the brown books? There you are.
I can sample test.
Nice.
I can do that.
One lockpick.
Settled.
It's just some money. Decent pile. Yeah. And an opal. Not a lot going on in the embassy overall. Definitely primarily a location for Pallegina. It'll take a while to get down there, so not for now. Let's dream. They're all allies. Yeah, these are almost entirely my allies' quests. I almost wish that companion quests were their own category. But yeah, this is Eder, Durance, Kana. Other one, that's actually not a companion quest. Sagani, Grieving Mother, and Pallegina. So no Eloth quest yet. But yeah, all of those are companion quests, except for one of them, which is tied to the companion quest, kind of, but they probably have different endpoints. So Vincent Augusti wants me to stop the adventuring party from looting within ruins and causing diplomatic incident. Go to the Edelwyn Bridge. I need to pretend to be Mr. Balcozi's buyer. Which I believe that bridge is the one... Yep, it's the one I came in on. Because the other one is broken. Because story reasons. That's where the Godhammer went off, right? So that bridge is just taken out, which means I have to go the long way. Which means that this map is split in half, and you can only get it from one side to the other via Cadnua, which was an abandoned ruin where I had to fix the path. Which meant that there just wasn't access between these two sides of town, which is kind of weird, actually. It's actually kind of just strange that people just put up with not having any trade or transport. It appears the Deerwood just kind of sucks. If that kind of shit can fly in this country. Come here, adventurers. Be Pallegina's first battle, I dare you. The man's hand rests lightly on the hilt of his flail as you approach. What's your business with us? Mr. Barkozy sent me. You're late, and we hate to keep waiting. Don't let it happen again. Now, on to the details of our arrangement. There's a loose plank in the southern end of the docks in Andra's gift, near that sunken ship. Leave the payment there. Gems and coins only. Gems, preferably. They're much easier to carry than sacks of coin. Right. We'll take the payment and replace it with relics of slightly lesser value. I say lesser because we have to take our own fee first. We're doing all the work and taking most of the risk after all. There you have it. Clean and simple. Any questions? How do you know which relics are valuable? I'm quite knowledgeable about Angwithan culture. If I say something's valuable, it is. A version hasn't been wrong yet. And Varian. Whoops. Who was the person who just talked, I guess, which was not this voice. It's fine. Tell your master not to worry about us selling him junk. You've managed to keep this arrangement going without ever being caught. Yep. The Vailian ambassador, Augusti, knows about us and is trying to shut us down. He's not as smart as he thinks he is. And besides, our patrons and the republics are more powerful and influential. We don't have anything to worry about. How do I know you won't just take the money and leave nothing in return? This arrangement works for Master Fucolo. It works for Master Ross. You don't like the deal? Walk away. Don't the Glenfathans get upset when they catch you looting in Gwithan ruins? The elfin woman sneers. If we do get caught, which doesn't happen often, we make sure the Glenfathans don't stay upset for very long. Witnesses are inconvenient. They're kind of the worst. I don't have any more questions. Good. Give us about a week, and we'll have something for you. Ooh, oh. Liliana. That's definitely... Oh, no, it's not Barkozy's person. Bad news, Aramonth. Barkozy's buyer isn't coming. Looks like the knights took him in for questioning. My guess is Augusti's behind it, so... What's going on here? Who's this? He stares at you, his gaze hardening. Good question. Stare back silently. He knows too much. Kill him. That was not the answer. I don't know if any of them were answers, really, that could have done anything besides lead to the same fight happening, but... Well, everybody stab him. Oh, I don't like how my knot tank's in the front. That always seems to happen, huh? Well, we'll hope for the best. Hey, Eder, try to intercept this person before they become a giant mess. And you try to go for their archer back here. In fact, all of you try to go for their... I meant to say their mage back here. That'll be useful. Let's let this fight kind of establish itself for a second.
Hey.
I'll see what semblance of a front line even happens, if there is one. Oh boy. Oh boy. None of that went even kind of how I thought it might. Oh shit. Wow, okay. So Itumak, Palagina, Eder, and Durance are all confused at the beginning of the fight, so that's not very good news for me. Somehow Jaskier is behind the rest of the fight, which... Frankly, this is a little confusing. What's even happening here? Well, Eloth's here. And also, on top of everything else, Jaskier is stunned. So that's not good. Eloth is not stunned yet. Oh, wait, no. Oh, Eloth's also confused. It just doesn't say he is. Okay, so every single person in the entire party is stunned, except one character who is... I mean, sorry, every single one of them is confused except one character that's stunned and dazed. Look at all that constant recovery. Yeah. Well, so they're just going to do random actions for a while, and I don't think any of the current party members can even do anything about that, because this character basically doesn't even have abilities. The most I can do is hobble some people to try to reduce their movement, but I pretty much just have to wait for this duration to end and see how much of my life is still alive. What a brutal opening for the fight. She even fired yet? No. Okay. She's no longer confused, so that's good. If you could just, like, lay on hands our dying character over here, that'd be handy. Our Chanter is much more useful alive. Flames of Devotion, so he's got bonus attack speed. Okay, so at least you're going strong now. Where is Ed there? There's Ed there. Let's knock Liliana on her ass if we can. Eloth is still confused. Durance is still confused, so my spell casting is all out the window for the moment. Great. Sagani still hasn't successfully done the one attack she was trying to do earlier. I can try to suck up some endurance if I can, as we both try to figure out how to heal. Paralyzed. Okay, so lots of status effects. I'm really eating my words when I was thinking about people not really doing them so much. These people really like status effects, as it turns out. They're really big fans. Like, really big fans. Okay, so one character's paralyzed. Edair's doing stuff. Is this... Okay, this character's near death. I should try to just finish them off, frankly. So everybody deal with them if you can, which you probably can't. Itumak is not paralyzed or mind controlled, just sick. Seems like you're currently alive, so... Let's throw out a duplicate, just to try to deal with the fact that there's so much happening right now. That having an extra character that's not currently CC'd would be good. Durance is fine, it looks like, so... Good time to throw down one of these, just to start all of the spell casting I should have been doing at the beginning of the fight if we had been alive, basically. So hooray. And Edair. And try to rip this guy towards us, because this is a pull, right? Yeah. I'd like to get you towards us if I can. To get you away from the... Nope, that... Oh yeah, no, it got him. Now he's over there. Cool. Paladin is still frozen. Just throwing down some effects now. Okay. Oh, that's a really big effect for some DR. That's good. And Eloth's got a... Yeah. Eloth's duplicate. That's neat. Their rogue seems to be down. Their leader doesn't seem to even have a discernible health amount, which means I probably haven't done enough damage to even tell how much health they even have as a concept. I think I want to focus their spellcasters then. It also makes it so that Sagani's attacking Itumak's target, which makes them stronger usually. Yeah, you're still paralyzed, which is a bit frustrating. And you're being focused by this person, so you might as well fight back. But I was just saying to fear, yeah. So fear them. So the missile spell is defended by deflection and agility, which is not what you guys are good at, right? 43%-ish. 61% deflection, 79%. Wow, okay. But you have a bad deflection. But it seems like I'm better off casting on these two. Yeah, you have terrible deflection. I can just spam this right in your face. We'll do that. Cool. Okay, so that went messy and everywhere. I don't know when he got this. 50 deflection. I should have spent that a moment ago when everything went to shit. when he was one of the only people that could do anything. Yeah, I should have activated that, but I didn't. Alright, well, Pallegina's back, I believe. Can I try again at healing you now? I don't think she's currently being attacked by anyone, so she won't have a disengage, I don't think. Ooh, I really want to have that, I'll wait for one more chant, because then he can do the big paralyze. That should cover, like, a lot of the battlefield right now. I believe that that missile really helped. Crackling Bolt is not a friendly spell. Let's toggle this and start just attacking with it. We also have this guy for a while. How long's the duplicate last? 30 seconds. He'll do some damage. That's good. I think this is turning around. Oh, there's that heal. Look how strong it is. All right, let's keep it on you. There we go. I wanted to see the moment 4 happened. I would like you all to stop now. Wait, what? Defended by mind. 66. 46. Are you saying that they have that low of a chance of it working? That's what that means, right? Alright, then summon. Extra summons! Everyone's boned. At this point, things have really turned around. I think we're fine. Flames of Devotion is not worth spending on you. Let's not do that. You're gonna go down on your own. Let's find the scariest target. That's probably that guy. No, let's kill the spellcaster. Flames Devotion on the spellcaster. Take him the hell out. This dog will probably take care of Anvarian Damandrad. That'll probably happen. And you're focusing this guy with the dog, so really both of you can switch over to dealing with this character. Ow! Aloth, how you doing? What hit you? Is it? It was hurt. Yep, it's the backline person. Middle has minor missiles. Okay, well in that case, lay on hands on Aloth. And Aloth is going to... Deflection doesn't help against missiles, does it? I don't know. Let's find out. I have it. It's verse deflection. Oh no. Deflection works. I keep thinking of it as a melee thing. Or like a physical thing, but not necessarily. So she can heal him. There you go. With her powerful healing spell, and he can put a bubble on to help reduce any incoming damage if anybody else goes after him. And then he can continue to attack people with his cool elemental attacks. And oh, he went from question mark health to almost dead. So secretly, he was actually about to die this whole time, and we just weren't sure about that. How exciting. Let's help with that, while also increasing Eder's DR. Not that he needs it, because Jesus Christ, he's just sitting here tanking half the enemies with full health and nothing's happening to him. He's just fine. Doesn't fucking matter. Impressive, that's for sure. Oh yeah. Oh, there it goes. And there goes all the summons, of which there was a substantial number. Well, this party is looking impressive at this point. Oh, the paladin is so powerful. She seems so wildly powerful. That's a lot of money. I'm not even gonna try to interpret how much money it is. Okay. Fine. Ooh, 2 grimoires in the party. God damn. Fine. Not even fine. And then a bunch of potions. Take all of them. What do you mean? What do you mean? Just take them all. And put them in my stash. Is my stash full? Wait, can my stash fill? Why wouldn't they go to my... Maybe the inventory just kind of bugged out. Plus 25 deflection. Not bad. I don't know why you wouldn't just go in here. There you go. Sanguine Plate. Ooh, 12 DR. What is this? Grants Frenzy when hit by a critical hit. 2 per encounter. Plus 4 might, plus 4 constitution. Plus 33% attack speed, minus 10 deflection. Health and endurance concealed for 12 seconds. Oh, that's why I didn't know how much health that guy had, because he had frenzy. He got crit, so he got stronger. More might, more constitution, more attack speed, but reduced other stuff. That's a cool chess piece. Especially for an offensive character like her, potentially. Did I enchant yours already? It was already fine. This might be an upgrade. So her current one is bonus armor on low health, which is neat. This does frenzy, which minus 10 deflection is kind of iffy, but plus 4 might, plus 4 constitution, increased attack speed. It's kind of fun. Might technically make more sense for my main character. It is the same category too. And also plus 2 survival, I guess. Yeah, this is the arrow breaker, which is that it gives me deflection against ranged attacks, which is all right, but not amazing. It might stack well with Palagina's bonus, because she has a class or racial ability that gives her a bonus against ranged attacks. So if that stacks with arrow breaker, then she's like ridiculously hard to hit with ranged attacks, which could be pretty cool. I think I was mainly wearing this because it has plus 2 perception, which slightly increases my interrupt chance. But sanguine plate's pretty cool. I think I want to wear that. Oh my god, look at the little ridiculous badass. And the purple's incorporated, I think, unless that's just what that's probably just what color it was already. It's cool though. Yeah, it's a little bit of a bummer that the color of these things completely defies your color scheme, so that the color scheme is barely visible on your character at all, besides the cape, when you try to assign one. Yeah, I think plus 10 deflection against ranged attacks. I'm curious if that stacks. Elusive Quarry. Arrow Breaker, plus 10 deflection against ranged attacks. I don't see any listing. I don't remember where it was, so it's kind of hard to verify. But there was some kind of a text that said that this thing is being suppressed by this other thing. Is that it, maybe? No, it's an asterisk. What's the asterisk mean? I don't know. But I don't see any indication of it being suppressed, so I think it's stacking. I think she just does have plus 2, just a ridiculous amount of deflection against ranged attacks. Which could be really badass. Anyway, this is not. That's fine. Let's make sure that you're fine. There we go, because I don't want to have that knot on you. And you are fine, yeah. Well, my mainliners definitely have to have fine on their armor. And you, I guess, will go away. Already done with that breastplate, I guess. It's a cool one. But I think I like the new one better. And there's even more. Oh god. Ooh, level 4s. Flame shield. That one didn't seem very cool though. Confusion. How much does it cost for level 4? 400 copper. Those numbers feel way smaller now. At this point in the campaign. I almost need to be able to, like, sort them by tier. Because, of course, a lot of these are now lower level spells that I might be less interested in buying. And his inventory is just filled with them because now I have 10. Bit of an issue. I don't know. I'll probably sort through them off camera if I remember eventually to just try to sort through which ones are completely redundant because they only contain spells that are in other ones, so it's not worth holding on to. But at the same time, I keep showing restraint at buying anything, and then by the time I might have the money where I'm like, yeah, I should buy those slots right there. I'll then hit a point where, like, I know, now I have level 5 spells now, and then I feel weird about buying lower level spells. Still, if I find the right level 4 spells, I might want to buy those. Because they'll be able to... I still have 2 slots left. Whereas if I buy anything of other tiers, I have to switch them out. But if there's a particular spell that I find especially disappointing, then that's something that I should be working on replacing. Well, they were aggressive, but that wasn't such a tough fight. The initial amount of confusion and general crowd control was a problem, of course. But once that was over with, they just started to melt. The additional risk was the fact that they once again did a scripted scenario that forces my protagonist into the front of the party, which puts them in danger. I feel like those kinds of moments really encourage you to play as a tanky melee character with your protagonist, because unless you have a really cool escape trick, a lot of these quest scenarios will from time to time defy your normal formation and force your protagonist into melee range, and then everyone will shoot them at the same time, and it's like, well, shit.
Good day, stranger.
You've brought me good news, I hope. I met with the Forgotten, but it didn't go quite like you planned it. Oh? You weren't able to learn anything about their smuggling operation, then? It was going well, but then they discovered I wasn't really Barkosi's representative. I see. I'm glad you survived the experience. He rubs his chin. I'd hoped that I could resolve this situation with subtlety, but what's done is done. I have no idea what may come of this, but that's my problem, not yours. Take these gems as payment for your service. There's nothing else. I must return to my duties.
Yeah.
There is truly nothing else. They are very dead. And now they will become the Forgotten. They're dead. They're all dead. And that's the end of them.
Yeah.
How are we doing, by the way? Are we terrifyingly close to leveling again? Yes. We're already 2/3 the way to the next level. Oh, wow. You're that far behind from being not in the party that much? Seems to take its consequences. I assume that's what's going on here. He's like 1/3 behind. Huh. So not bringing with you does have consequences. Still, I'll probably ignore that as much as I can because, you know, you want to switch characters periodically and also try to do everybody's missions and stories. And it would suck to ignore that just because there's too many people to switch through. Let's go over here. Let's see if anything's around here before I go in the main building. Out of curiosity. Because after I poke over here, that main building will be, and the Wedeka temple will be the last 2 things to investigate in the entire city. Aside from what I presume is to be a combat zone. Heritage Hill. I always want to call it Heritage Hill. Something's wrong with me. Help me. If I go this way, does it become an option? Yep. No, just Justicars everywhere, or Justiciars. I don't know. I thought Justicar was spelled without an I. Like Justicar, C-A-R. So I get all concerned about the pronunciation, but they also spelled Duke, D-U-C, if that even is the same word, which maybe it isn't. So I'm thoroughly all over the place with my interpretations here. Well, I know that they're probably all just alternate spellings, like when I learned from Bloodborne that you can spell jail G-O-A-L, which I'm like, those are none of the right letters. Sidley, that's a name.
Hail, traveler.
The young woman wears a simple but well-tailored uniform. She watches the comings and goings around her with quiet attention. Any news to share? Or are you just here to see the Ducal Palace? What is the Ducal Palace? It starts to feel like your character's a lunatic when they have to ask everything about the world around them. But at least our character's not local, so it kind of explains all the questioning. If it's making a local character that makes all the questioning way weirder. It's the seat of the government here in Defiance Bay. This is where Duke Admeth Hadrit That name that I hate because it sounds like I'm choking and mispronouncing everything, and probably am, declared freedom from Maderan rule some 150 years ago. She lowers her voice and grins. It's also a hotbed of regional politics. Trust me, the gossip here beats what you'll find in any tavern or brothel in the city. Multiply that by 10, and it would be just like the Republic's. Looking for news? Who are you? I'm a page here at the palace. I deliver messages and run errands for the Duke and all his advisors. The pay's not great, but I can't think of a better introduction to politics. So what goes on in here? She laughs. Where to start? We've got meetings, public hearings, and ceremonies, and that's just the stuff that happens out in the open. She leans a little closer. This is where the Duke and his key advisors work, so there's always someone bartering for a favor. Unfortunately, I'm not at liberty to talk about that side of things. But if you want the official version, she clears her throat and gestures counterclockwise around the palace. We have a shrine devoted to Magran, official records and chambers for public hearings, and council meetings. Tell me about the Shrine of Magran. It's a symbol of Magran's protection of Defiance Pay. She has represented the revolutionary spirit of the Deerwood ever since independence, and her involvement in creating the Godhammer bomb only affirmed her importance to us. She scratches her neck. That's also where the first of the sacred fires burned, but Freyga, the tranquil ardent, has had trouble keeping them lit. Oh, I wonder if Durance will have something to say about that. What kinds of records are stored here? Mostly dull official stuff, census counts, tax records, militia registers. Now, I keep my distance. I got curious one day and got drafted into reshelving half of the records. She yawns. Worst day of my life. You haven't had a lot of bad days then, I take it. Is there a hearing going on right now? Sure is. Duke Avar's been meeting with some of the city leaders for weeks now, trying to figure out how to address the legacy. The whole business is terribly secret, though. I tried to sit in the gallery during my lunch break one day and got turned away. She sniffs. But a lot of the talk concerns animancy, so there's good reason they're keeping the meetings behind closed doors. The legacy? What's that? Wildwind's legacy. It's really funny to ask about questions that have been the main plot all game. That's what a lot of people call the Rash of Hollowborn. The theory goes that it's punishment for meddling in animancy. Why is animancy so controversial? He laughs. Where to begin? Traditionalists think it's a crime against the gods. There's a question that's poking around in souls. There's no question that poking around in souls is risky, but the more progressive elements believe it's our only shot at restoring healthy births. And it doesn't help matters that animancy research often involves old Angwithan relics that are illegally looted from the ruins in Ire Glanfath. She makes a quick twitching motion with her index and middle fingers. What are Hollowborn? She raises an eyebrow. You really are fresh from the road. Hollowborn are children born without souls. They often don't live for very long, and those that do have generally received some kind of treatment from the animancers. What do you think about animancy? Me? I think the real danger of animancy is confusing a real scholar with an expensive fake. We get a new case here every day. Some poor couple in the Gift or Copper Lane who spent every copper they had on a miracle cure for their unborn child. It never works. She shakes her head. Breaks your heart, but there's usually nothing we can do for them. I see. Anyway, the legacy is what the politicians have all been whispering about lately. Tell me about the current Duke. That would be Ever Wolfgren. Don't let the title fool you, though. Our dukes have been elected since independence. Some find Duke Evar rather coarse. He's a frontier noble. Personally, I think a rough and tumble type is just what Defiance Bay needs. Goodbye. Well, that's a heavy intro. And this is going to be a building we're probably going to spend a lot of time in. Or maybe not. Hall of Records, Shrine of Magran. We might not have actually that much access to this place. But it's at least where the some of the main story is bound to kick off, except for the actual main story in the Temple of Wetica. But we'll hopefully get a chance to dig into some stuff about the Legacy and Hermitage Hill and Animancy that have been kind of floating over this whole town. We've been everywhere except here, and now we're here. Very bright.